activism do you find yourself drawn to? Is there anything that you want to change in this world?
That's a deep question.
There's a lot to pick from.
I would say spirituality. And the level of giving that, people can control, sort of determines just how much you have, I think people just need to learn to share more.
And if there was any one thing that you could inspire people to change about their lives to make it possible for them to share more and connect more, what would that be?
Just to be honest, maybe?
Honesty. Honesty. Well, thank you very much, Scott.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming Way to the World.
My pleasure. KDWTW.
Hey now. I'm a field reporter too, but I wear shorts and read Congress.
We have all kinds.
But I don't get paid, so what the fuck I want. Us too. You need another nickname.
I think I'll be given one, yes.
What do you
victim.
mean?
He needs another victim. So we can field report.
I imagine some of the impression that
You know what would be Corey. You know who I want? The person who's just made a son.
yeah.
So they can show the sign?
See, that's the thing. Like, they already have it in their head that
So
they're doing something.
you've already got
activist.
it down. See, now that's what I do. Someone holding a sign, I walk up to and I say, I noticed your sign. It's a really great icebreaker.
I don't need the sign itself, but I want somebody that's in the frame of mind. They're thinking about an activist thing.
Yeah.
Because they will be able to answer that question.
But I think truth is activism.
Yeah. So what's that?
Truth is activism.
Yes, absolutely. She had some questions about technology, if I was going to go in depth with them. Yes. Yeah. Next one. This is my first day as a reporter, so you have
You're
to,
doing awesome.
do what I can. I feel like April O'Neil.
I totally wing it. April O'Neil?
From Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I don't watch TV, but it's been a while, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. Right, I stopped doing my job, so now it's just like...
No?
No. So April's gonna have an opinion. Whether it's her own or not.
I will express opinions.
We'll get your purse out of the shot here.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Well, you are at an event, but
Right.
you
Well, I
know.
don't even know what to do with this thing. I'm carrying it all over the place. It's
I
just...
don't carry a purse for that exact reason.
Yeah, I keep on trying to get someone else to carry it for me.
Baggage.
Baggage, right.
And so, thank you for coming to Way to the World.
Thanks for having me.
We've been meeting some new activists this evening. People who have now got the bug of activism in their head, and I was wondering, what in this world would you like to see changed? What in this country would you like to see changed?
What am I an activist about?
Yes.
I would say that my life work would be more towards equity of access and education.
Education. Education. And what's wrong with the education system in this country?
I think we have equity problems. Equity of access, specifically.
Equity of access.
What do you mean by that?
Different populations have different levels of access to quality education.
And how would you go about fixing that?
I work for a small nonprofit organization in the field of education.
So you literally make this your life's work.
Well, I don't know that I'm impacting the population that I would like to serve, but I'm doing what I can.
That's more than most can say. That's more than most can say. And is there anything outside of work that you do that is a form of activism?
Form of activism.
So we all go about our daily grind and we try to focus on one thing, but is there anything outside of education that you find yourself drawn to?
Well, yeah, I mean, I pay attention to, all of the marches, the Occupy Wall Street and stuff. I haven't actually gone out and participated, but I do try and keep on top of that stuff.
The system seems to be broken throughout. Any questions from the studio?
You mentioned that you don't know that you're providing a difference to the population that you would like to be providing a difference to. But that's not to mean that you don't provide a difference. How do you think you provide a difference, period?
I think that the rewards in my work are much more long-term and macro. I don't necessarily get day-to-day rewards because I'm not a teacher in the classroom up to my elbows working with the population that I'm trying to serve. I think that my role is more about supporting the people who are actually working with that population. What was the question again?
Everybody makes a difference in their own little way, whether they see it or not. And you said that while it's not the immediate difference that you wish you would make, you noted that you might be making a difference. How best do you see that in your day-to-day work, with your job, and outside of it?
There's some projects that I work with where we look at data across student populations and we are able to more easily identify those equity issues. So if you look at, for example, attendance rates and suspension rates and compare that across different demographic populations, you can start to see certain stories coming to the surface. And those are the stories that I find really interesting, that I try and teach people how to find by working with data and understanding data.
And since starting working with this company that you work with, have you noticed any differences?
Like I say, the rewards are much more long-term, and so it's really hard to say until you get a certain amount of data gathered. I mean, it's really hard to say. I hope so. I hope so, that what we're doing is making a difference, but we won't know for 5 years.
The stone in the pond doesn't see the ripple at the shore's edge.
Right, it's true.
That's a good one. That was a good.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, April. This is KWTW.
Okay, I'm gonna go find some notes.
Do it.
Okay.
Where do you come up with that? The stone in the pond?
I just do that.
The river, not the rock.
Yeah. No. The ripple at the shore's edge. Yeah. That's why Ariel didn't want to have us both write vows.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Well, good evening.
You wanted to see me?
I'm interviewing attendees of this wonderful evening. If you'd like to join the interview process, pardon me, ma'am.
Where do I need to sit?
Oh, please. Hugh Hoser, KWTW.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hugh? Is it Hugh or
Hugh.
Hugh.
It's
Hi.
like the color scheme.
Okay.
Thank you for coming this evening.
Do I look at you or do I look at the camera?
Oh, we have our we have in our studio. What is your name? I don't know.
I don't have
Studio
one.
audience.
Yeah. No. What is your?
It's Corey Howe. I don't have one.
Yeah. All right. We have Corey.
I'm in the studio.
In the studio. We all
Can
want
you cut this out later?
Oh, it's all post.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of this is 100% post-op.
And
Post-op.
look at him.
Okay, thanks.
Look at me. Look
For
at
the
me.
answer.
Thank you for coming. And this evening is about activism. And we were wondering what form of activism you're drawn to. Is there something in this country you want to see changed?
I want to see more people asking questions.
Information.
I want to see more people asking questions of people that they haven't been asked before.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think that it makes people think when you ask them a question. You know, like you ask someone, how are you? And they say, great, and that's the programmed response. And you need to ask them another question and to get a non-programmed response. And I think we need more questions that bring out non-programmed response.
Do you think that there's something specifically responsible for that programming?
Yeah.
What would
It's
that
a survival mechanism.
be? A survival mechanism.
We learn our programs growing up. This is how we survive. This is how we function in the world. But I think awareness involves awareness of the programs, and then a decision to either abide by or change them. And when you change them, that's when the cool stuff happens, because you're creating something new. That's God power, that's choice, it's divinity.
Do you think that this age that we live in now, where there are more distractions, the technological wonders that make our modern life possible, are they also a detriment? Do they cause a hindrance in this way, or in this field?
Well, it's a preponderance of programming, which can be helpful. You know, we need systems to deal with things in our lives. But I don't think that's the point of life. I think the point of life is the new stuff that we don't have programs for. It's writing the programs and testing out new ones.
Indeed, indeed. Now, what can you do, or what do you see yourself doing to make that change in the world happen?
I'm always looking for a good question.
Do you look for the answers as well, or just the question?
I look for the good question that I can't find a satisfactory answer to, or if I can, I still ask if it's a good question. I want to know other people's answers.
So you not only come up with the questions, but you actively ask the question.
Well, yeah, I ask the questions. I'm not very good at coming up with them. So far, I've been appropriating questions. I hope to be able to ask my own questions someday.
There you are. Vanessa, breaking boxes, pulling people out of them.
Yeah, creation.
Yes, very good, very good. Do we have any questions from our from Corey in the studio?
How are you today?
I was not buzzed enough, but now I'm approaching just about right.
Great.
Okay, can I go now?
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Bye.
Who is it?
Good evening, sir.
How are you?
I'm good. Hugh Hoser from KWTW.
Alright. You're all dressed up nice.
I am.
Were you in this earlier?
I am in this right now. We're doing interviews with attendees here in the at the Weight of the
You
World.
guys look pretty too, but not quite as pretty as this guy here.
It's because he's on camera.
Yes.
Oh, right now? Oh, hey!
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We've got you on camera here and on camera here.
Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2.
So here at Weight of the World, we're seeing budding activists. Do you fancy yourself an activist, sir?
Fancy myself a social renegade. I guess maybe. Sort of, I kind of live my life away from society's ideas. But you know, I don't go out and protest, but we did walk right through a great immigration protest that was going on big and loud in downtown. Our second immigration protest. Been to one in Minnesota out of the blue, and it was
Immigration,
when all that was going on.
A hot button
when that was
topic for yourself?
when it was the hot. No, I just happened to be there.
Huh.
But it is too, you know. I don't believe in borders.
Fair enough.
You know, John Lennon style, no borders, no religion, no possessions.
You say that you live your life away from the ideas and such that one might be an activist
The ideas
against.
and the ideals.
Are there any in particular that make you shy away the most?
Yeah, I don't want to say them in front of a bunch of college graduates.
How do you mean?
The structure of education and how they keep the classes the way they are by making people pay so much for proper education that makes them money.
Accessibility of
It's a
education.
very interesting thing to me. A little bit, you know, and how they keep the people with a lot of money and power, you know, and I wouldn't even call it super educated, just their money is in the system. So they get those privileges. But that might just be my opinion.
No, that's fair enough. Fair enough. If there were...
Hi, Amanda.
Hey, I'm just looking for my blue water bottle. Have you guys seen it at all?
Nope.
No?
Thank you.
I see your blue water.
If there were any one thing that you could do to make a change in education, what would that be?
I don't know. What is it right now? Is it privatized, or what is education right now? How does it work?
That's a good question.
It seems almost like a capitalist endeavor, so I would do the same thing I would do with healthcare, you know, just...
How does education seem a capitalist endeavor?
It just seems, like I was saying, I might be wrong. I don't really know a lot, but it seems a bit structured in a way that it's like a business almost. It seems very business-like. And even in the community colleges, how much the prices have shot up for the overcrowding of those classes that are accessible.
So you view education as a commodity that we sell and
I
purchase.
sort of feel like it's that way.
Information is no longer free.
Yes, and the whole idea of this, you know, freedom is not free as well as one of these just most sickening sort of statements that drive me crazy. So it all sort of stems from there. It's like, we can't just be born and be free and be in love. It's like you have to pay for it all along the way. So you gotta be in the military, and you gotta be willing to kill for your country, and then you gotta go to these colleges that once you're in the military, oh, you're all paid for, and then they sort of show you how to live your life in a sense, you know. But maybe not. Maybe not really. I don't know. Maybe I'm making this up.
No, that sounds like a familiar song. Familiar tune we've heard here at KWTW.
What was did I miss a question, or was that?
No, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. And so, education, the failing state of it.
Yeah, I am an elementary school PE teacher, and I love my job. And it's funny how they don't put as much emphasis and money into that level of education when that's actually where you learn to learn, you know? They keep it all for the higher level sports, and then they cut the art out of all those higher levels. So you got sports, and you got, you know, technology or whatever, and, you know, if you're not, you know, behind a computer or running some conglomerate, then or some athlete that's making, you know, $1 million a day, then there seems like a big space in there, you know, obviously between the rich and the poor and the but it just, you know, it's just like what our parents used to tell us, man. They you know, well, you know, everybody's dad, talking about when all the technologies come together as one, and the whole state of the globe becomes smaller in a sense, you know, where it's sort of a one world thing. It all sounds kind of good, you know, but then again, there's something a little bit less cultural about that, you know. And it's all like one culture melting together, and everybody kind of forgets how other people live, you know. Yeah, it sort
makes
of
us farther
makes us
apart.
forget, yeah, how we sort of, where we came from, I guess. Forget history. I'm babbling.
No, there's an element of truth to that. The very nature of the handwritten letter being something that people find to be antiquated.
Yeah, and that's beautiful, because Lighty just got a nice card from a friend that we feel is a very sort of old-fashioned soul, you know, and she wrote Lighty a card, you know, just this thing, you know, and she's very good at that, and very few people are. I'm certainly not. but I appreciate it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Staying connected.
I appreciate it very much. I like the phone, like talking on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't text or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, if I had one of those fancy phones, I would probably skim it across the Salton sink. I would skim it because it frustrates me, but it's just me. I like technology though, in a lot of other ways. I do like how it brings us together.
It is a double-edged
It's a
sword.
fine line, it's a fine line. It's
It
a
is
fine
a
line,
double-edged
Mr. Luke.
sword.
It's good to see you, man. I like to see you.
Good to see you, sir.
I like to see all of you. Good day.
Well, thank you. You have a good evening.
I think we're good.